Since Segbagbe is a major general in the army, retired. Not just major general in the army, he was director of finance in the Nigerian army for so many years. What they normally call paymaster general in those days in the army. So he has a war chest. He's been very popular and visible. You know, he has, I think, he has a deep pocket too, even though I don't know the source of that particular, pocket, as the case may be. You also have people like the former former Speaker of the House of Assembly, Okeba, that is still in the race. You also have Osalimi Osumbo, like I said before now. Then you have some other people, you know, that I think I forgot. Okpebolo also is another titan, you know, from that particular area, not just in Edo Central, but the whole of Edo, a state, as case may be. He's popular in the Edo North.
Okay, so see where I'm going to, because in the course of the converse, not really their issues.
Okay, yes.
Is it correct to say that Edo North haven't had the opportunity to be the governor of Edo State, someone from Edo North? That's one. Also, he talked about getting the PDP ticket, that he's also going to contest, irrespective of what may have happened between him and his principal, that he's also going to contest. Now, all of this panning out, how does that... He also said that there's nothing like zoning, that there's no record anywhere where zoning was discussed with anybody. I'd like you to react to this.
That is what he has been saying, that there is no zoning. But Obaseki has said that there was an arrangement for zoning within the PDP hierarchy, so that there will be, you know, the power will rotate around the three senatorial districts. That is on that side. I really don't know. Yes, they don't have any memorandum, like I said before, or it is not cast in stone that zoning, you know, or should be, you know. Then the wisest thing to do is for them to zone it now, or give it, or leave it for a donut under PDP. That is his argument. We from a donut, some buy the argument, some do not buy the argument. You understand the point? And so that is where the whole thing is. But if I have to comment on come together, you know, to form a particular whatever, the Obaseki fashion, problem Chaibu has is this. Yes, Dan Obi, I know he went to Dan Obi the last time to meet him and told him that he wants to contest, you know, as for governor under the PDP canopy. Obviously, Dan Obi, who is not a good terms to the other side of PDP, will say, he will urge him on and say, carry on my son. You understand? Because we are from the same area.
Hold on. Again, this Dan Obi, is it not the same Dan Obi that is in the same camp in PDP with Governor?
Of course, that is the Dan Obi, yes. That is it. That is the Dan Obi that...
Yes, Wike's party.
Yes, Wike's camp. So, he is the leader of the Yes, Wike's camp in my state. Let me use
Which
the
is
word.
one faction of
PDP. While Obaseki is on the other side. And they don't even want to see eye to eye. You understand the point? And they don't even want to see eyeball to eyeball, as the case may be. They have tried from the national level to come and see if they can reconcile the two factions of PDP in Edo State, but the national Dan Obi. And Dan Obi now is doing everything to try the effort, because he attended, you know, that he attended the birthday of Dan Obi. Whereas Oshomole also was in that particular, birthday of, Dan Obi. And another prominent, Ishan son, who is of the PDP stock, but is on the side of Dan Obi, Chief Alexis Adoge, was in that particular, group. So when you look at, if you look at now, you have people like Alexis Adoge on the side of Dan Obi. You have Dan Obi on the side of himself, and Philip Shaibu, as the case may be. Then maybe those are people Philip Shaibu is relying on and beating his chest, because the men I've mentioned, right now, are very powerful people. Like Dan Obi is a powerful political tool in Edo North. Alexis Adoge is another powerful, timber and caliber man in Edo Central.
So can I ask you a quick question? Did yes rift?
They have not. Instead of even for them to come together, it has even become internecine. That is even smoothing. So when a particular thing is smoothing, you just bring a small kerosene or even palm oil near it, it will flame up, as the case may be. So that is their relationship, as the case may be right now.
So who are those behind Obaseki in Edo State right now? Let's not even talk about...
let me say, he chose them, the normal contraption of caretaker committee, or they do election and say PDP has cleared all the local government, local governments in those states. So he's relying on those 23 local government, chairman, caretaker chairman in those states, as the case may be. That is his strength, according to him. Two, he is saying that the people are behind him because he's a working governor. If you look at what happened, he won an award about 2 days ago that was presented to him. Now he came and said that the Edo people were in support of the award and they were congratulating him. Then the House of Assembly of Edo State right now is populated by PDP, as the case may be. So maybe that is where he's drawing his strength from. Now, the political figure that I think or seemingly think is behind Obaseki.
Now that the emperor seems to be standing alone in the middle of nowhere, the big question we're living for all the pundits as we look forward to Edo State 2024 then is, with Yeso Wike and the power of the APC behind him, or with him, if you may, and the Dan Obi and the PDP governors pledging allegiance to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu right now, and then with this statement from Shaibu, why the APC is getting their house in order, the big question then is this: who will be on Edo governor's seat by 2024? Who gets the PDP ticket? Who gets the APC? These are all the conversation we are ending off with for this quarter. On that, that's what we're looking at as we get into the primaries. But we'll take a short break. There are major conversations we'll have for you coming from Rivers State. We'll bring all of that to you when we come back.
Midnight, not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth: the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth: the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Initiatives to keep the oil-rich states peaceful, pledging their resolve to continuously give the governor the required support to accomplish his consolidation and continuity agenda to benefit the state, while condemning the reported attack on AES residents and the burning of the hallowed chamber of the Rivers State House of Assembly 3 weeks ago. The lawmakers appealed to the governor to commence the rehabilitation works as soon as possible. They also stressed the need for the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Baitokun, and other security agencies to investigate the attacks and bring the culprits to book. The remarks follow reports that the opposing group of lawmakers led by Martin Anehule also met earlier in the day and resolved that the IGP should investigate the burning of the assembly chambers and the perpetrators prosecuted. All right. A bit of a drama is beginning to unfold in a very classy way, if you may. You know, there's no youth pandering to anything or burning anything. It's just basically a clash of the titans in actual sense right now. So, you are Mr. Constitution. Two assembly speakers held a sitting at the River State Hallowed Chamber, though burnt Hallowed Chamber yesterday. First, it was the Amehule faction,
Yes.
and then the Edison faction,
Yes.
and then the Edison faction. So now, let me start from here. Constitutionally speaking,
Yes.
who is the legal or recognized by law, the Constitution, the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly? Is it the man who was installed with the silver-colored mace on outside of the chambers? Or is it then should be legally recognized? Or what does the Constitution say about this man?
Well, thank you very much. I want to say with due respect that I am not taking sides, but it's my opinion I want to give on this issue. You see, I have thought about this, I've discussed this particular matter in different dark corners and forums. I've met with friends. Now, you have two factions of the House of Assembly in River State that they were in before that crisis started. And that status was the one that people that a minority group now went somewhere and said they have impeached or removed the speaker that was the popular speaker that was there before the crisis started in the River State House of Assembly. So in my own view and opinion, that particular one that was voted by all members that were present, for me, is the speaker that should be recognized by law, under the law, and status quo should be maintained at that particular level. Why am I saying this? Now, in democracy, the majority, have their way. The minority, we have their say. So they came back and they sat, and they made another maze, and they started, taking their deliberations because they had the quorum to sit and that majority to deliberate on issues. Now, in the case of Okadibo, you remember that Okadibo, before he was impeached, took that maze to his house, his country home in Anambra State. When he took the golden maze of the Senate to his country home in Anambra to go and hide it, what happened? The Senate reconvened. Majority reconvened. Those who were not in support of Okadibo reconvened, in the house, held a meeting, got another carpenter to create, a maze, and got a sculptor to design that maze, and they put it in the front, and Okadibo was now impeached, and that was how it is. So a maze, even though it's symbol, as people say, a symbol of authority, I dare say and challenge anybody to point to any part of the Nigerian Constitution that says that the maze, that the house cannot sit without the maze. What the Constitution says is, number one, if you go to section 54, you will find out that they say a quorum. In all parliamentary sitting, one-third quorum, one-third of the members of the House. Are you telling me that 4 has formed one-third of 23 in River State? I don't think so.
Okay.
That's the question I want to ask. Secondly, to tell you that they work in this, aggregation of one-third to third, the minority cannot even remove the speaker because you need two-third. I mean, they can't even remove the governor because you need two-third majority of the whole of 23 to remove a governor, as the case may be. So if 4 or 5 are holding meetings because the governors on their side, for me, it's an aberration. That is why you find out that the Nigerian variant of democracy is unknown. It's just the variant of COVID-19 that is still destroyed all up and down. Now, we don't really understand how we got our democracy. Therefore, we decide because they are with the executive arm of government. It's so abysmal. I don't know. I don't know.
Let's really look at this before we get into a court ruling. Don't won't dwell much on that because I know you will say it will be sub judice. But let's quickly look at this situation. There are 32 seats in the River State House of Assembly.
Okay, 32.
32 is a unicameral house.
Yes.
Now, that's one. And now, I just looked at the Wikipedia page. The first intro in the Wikipedia page still recognizes Martin Ame, Right Honorable Martin Ame, like the River State Speaker.
That's right.
However, if you go down to the details of that same Wikipedia page, the Speaker of the on that leadership, you have the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly is Right Honorable Edison Ehe. Okay. On the same wiki. I mean, anyone can edit wiki, by the way, but that's what is there right now. Now, there is a conscious silence as to what exactly is going on here. The governor is neither addressing the issues, neither is the former governor of Rivers State, who are the two who are the two in contention here. Of course, this is rubbing off on the assembly because there are interests on both sides. If by quorum we're looking at 1/3 of the House to be able to say they can impeach the Speaker, which from the look of things, there are various news reports. Some reports say there are 26 pro-Fubara loyalists in the State Assembly who had impeached the Speaker, Martin Amihule. We're yet to see the list, maybe when they release the list.
Yes.
Now, this same group of individuals were also over the weekend in a meeting in Abuja with maybe the FCT minister, codedly or not, but they said they went for a retreat. We don't know what that is. However, when they are coming back, they sat, and then this other house sat. Is it possible for someone to, at any point, to stand up and address this issue, to ask either parts, maybe Edison, like you said, let's maintain status quo for the sake of Rivers State? Is it possible for anyone to say, okay, step down and all of that? What exactly do you think may be panning out in all of this?
What is happening now is that Rivers State is in a state of parliamentary interregnum. There's nobody now because of political, whatever the case may be. Rivers State does not have a parliament. That is what it means now, in my opinion. Because if there are, the members are factionalized, as the case may be, it depends on the area you support that you begin to give credence to whatever faction you belong, as the case may be. But what I want us to understand is that the business of government and governance is suffering in Rivers State. What is happening now? The governor, there are certain, bills, there are certain business of the day the governor ought to be performing, and needing 1/3 to 2/3 of majority of the house to carry on that business and sign into law. He cannot do it now. Do you know how the government will operate now? He will be operating under executive orders, and which means the governor he cannot become a dictator and autocratic, because if there's nobody to proofread and challenge what policy the government to churn out. For this, as the case may be now, I don't know, you are drifting towards anarchy. Then you now have both legislative and executive powers in the hand of one man. That is very dangerous to democracy. The governor now cannot even send a bill, for instance, to the House. Can he send, for instance, most of the governors of Nigeria now, they are sending their appropriation bill, budget 2024, to their various houses of assembly for approval for it to become law. Now, can the governor of Rivers State now send the appropriation bill before the House, and which house will he send to? Now, is it the house that has a minority or the house that has a majority? Is it the house that is on the side of the governor or on the side of or not on the side of the governor? That is why we have this problem that is so visible. Now, coming down to the question you asked, let me tell you, I have to first of all, let me just be very, very objective and frank. The governor, say Fubara, has gone, through this particular, problem, with what I call equanimity and candor, and he has not really inflamed, opinions, what I call populist opinions. Some governors would have declared total war on whosoever they feel is causing this whole problem. The perceived enemy that people say is causing this whole problem is already known. But you find that the governor has acted in a way that even his supporters do not understand again. The man came to commission some projects in Rivers State at that time. The governor went, to meet with him. The governor went to the church also in town. When the ex-governor was here, he went there again, sat with him, on the same front desk, and some other things, and even admonished his supporters that this man remains my oga, as the case may be. So I give credence, and I want to appreciate the governor for having that equanimity and candor, and that kind of containing himself to act civilly. Right. Because if he had added to the flame, I'm sure that Rivers State would have been burning now, as the case may be. So he should be given credit for that. I respect him for that. That is in that aspect.
Okay, let's really run through, but still in Rivers State, everyone. A federal high court sitting in Port Harcourt issues an order urging both factions in the Rivers State House of Assembly to maintain the status quo and suspend further sittings until the matter is dispensed. The suit filed by Right Honorable Ehie Edison at the Federal High Court and presided over by Honorable Justice Foibi Ayua. Edison prayed the court to stop Abehule. Edison prayed the court to stop Amehule and the other lawmakers from presiding over the activities of the legislative arm of the state. The notice by Edison was filed by a main suit from the new Speaker of the House of Assembly and the House of Assembly. But parties, as it appears in the suit, are the Rivers State House of Assembly as the first plaintiff and Right Honorable Barrister Ehie Egerenye Edison, Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly, as a second plaintiff, while the defendants are Right Honorable Martins Chike Amewule, former Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Dumle Mao, former Deputy Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly, the Inspector General of Police, Director, Department of State Security Services, Rivers State, and Commissioner of Police, Rivers State. In the ruling, Justice Ayu ordered that an order is made directing the plaintiffs or applicants to put the respondent on notice forthwith. That an order is, however, made directing that all parties on record respect the court and should not take any step concerning the subject matter, since the matter is already before this court. Sub judice pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. Now, you recall that the new Speaker of the House of Assembly sought, amongst other pleas, a declaration that the former Speaker and his former Deputy, having been removed and suspended from the House, are not entitled to participate, disturb, interfere, or obstruct the performance of the legislative proceedings of the House and the legislative duties of the new Speaker in accordance with the provisions of sections 90 to 104 of the Constitution of Nigeria. They also sought an order restraining the former two principal officers of the House from interfering with or participating in the functions of the House of Assembly. The court has fixed the hearing of the motion on notice for November 27, 2023. That should be by next week. But here is the thing. So on a lighter note, before we get into all of that, on a lighter note, Edison in this suit said he is a speaker and he went to court with this, and that Amewule is the former Speaker. So please, do you have idea who is Edison's Deputy Speaker? Do you have a name? I only know that Edison is the Speaker for this faction. So you don't know who the Deputy Speaker?
Who is their Speaker. I don't know who is their majority leader. I don't know who is their minority leader. I don't know who is their chief whip.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it should be in the public domain.
Or maybe they maintained
maybe they maintained that Edison.
The existing one.
Yes.
Okay.
But what drew my attention is when I heard, let me reconfirm section 104, under which is bringing this particular motion.
Yeah.
I look at it now as if for a period of no less than 180 days. I don't know what that means in this suit, but that's not a problem. The matter is before the court. So let us go. Even that section 90 is cited. I said, let me quickly go there and check it out. So I don't know exactly what. They say there shall be a house of assembly for each of the states of federation. So this is section 90 and section 104. So which powers is looking for them to retain and contain? That is left for the courts to decide. But,
okay, here is what I hope we can have enough time to look at, which is there is, like you mentioned earlier, appropriation bills have been passed across, and now there are different states, even the federal governments, they're all passing the appropriation 24 appropriation bill for the assembly to look at. Without an assembly, we don't know what's going to happen on the 27th, by the way. So without an assembly, okay, how is the governor of Rivers State who is he going to present the appropriation bill to? How is he going to run Rivers State if this is not nipped in the bud right now?
You know, what I feel is this, like it has been done, by voyage of illegalities all over the country. I hope the governor of Rivers State does not copy or maybe simulate, such illegalities. In Edo, for instance, where about 5 people sat together in a House of Assembly, about 23 or thereabout members. You understand the point now? 6 people came and pass the appropriation bill. That was a negation of the rule of parliament and whatever, and even the constitution as the case may be. But the governor carried on in that manner and people were obeying him. Nobody could even challenge him to even tell him that, sir, what you are doing is null and void. It's an illegality, as the case may be. The matter went to court. The matter is even at the stage of appeal right now. The governor is leaving about how many months' time from now. So this has been the problem we have. I pray that the governor does not go there. Because if the governor goes on that particular road of partition, as the case may be, that particular road of illegality, as the case may be, the Rivers people will suffer. Like you quite, cleverly and put that particular, sensitive question, that the appropriation bill, where will the governor present it to? For me, I don't know where the governor is going to present it to. So what's going to happen now is that the governor has to keep that appropriation bill to himself, pending when these particular issues are resolved, by the court. But in other instances, that the governor may need the approval of, the House to operate and do business of government and governance, what the governor has to do now is to resort to executive orders. And the Supreme Court has said that executive orders are dictatorial, instrument of oppression. So if you begin to operate and rule a state with executive orders, I don't know why powers of a legislature and executive should be fused in one individual. So you are not turning into a dictatorship and autocratic, reign, as the case may be. So it's an aberration, no matter the way you look at it, no matter whose ox is God, no matter who is benefiting from this, the state is not benefiting. That is my take home on this. The political actors, let me ask a question, or let me put this straight to Nigerians today. In 1962, one O.A. Bubedike was the first, man that came, snatched a maize in the Western House of Assembly, and destabilized the House of Assembly the way they are doing right now. Factions emerged. Awolowo faction and Akintola faction emerged. Before you knew what was going on, there was riot that enveloped the whole of the Western region in Nigeria that orchestrated where the then Tafawa Balewa government, had to declare a state of emergency in that particular Western region. That problem started from the House of Parliament, the House of Assembly as it is now. Nigerians, Rivers State, you must make sure that this particular issue does not snowball into what happened in Western region in 1962. Because look at what is going on now. Why should a particular political umbrella, the members of the House of Assembly of Rivers State are from the same PDP? If they are from Labour Party and APC or whatever the case may be, they would have been saying that based on party affiliation. But where you have homogeneity of partism, as the case may be, why this quarrel? It means that the people did not in the first instance elect all or almost of the people members of the House of Assembly of Rivers State.
Right.
Because if the people were truly behind the election of these people and not by selection that they did, because a man came and said he bought the forms for all members of the House of Assembly, House of Reps, even the governor, a Senate, Rep, etc. as the case may be. So you know that is why this kind of problem is happening in Rivers State today.
All right, let's talk
people
about.
should condemn it.
All right.
And let them resolve it quickly.
Let's really wrap this up because you just gave I asked a question which has been in the mind of several persons with the ongoing fracas in the Rivers State House of Assembly,
yes.
And that is what is going to happen to the 2024 appropriation bill, which, of course, he may end up, like you said, using executive order, which is a part of what good. So now let's talk about executive rascality, because you said someone has in some states, I don't know if you said it, those states have tried this before, and where 6 people had to, without a quorum.
That's right.
And all of that. And of course, because there's a lack of consequence management in this country, so but nothing happened, and maybe nothing will happen even after the case is done. But bring that to bear on where we are right now. Let's talk about the impunity versus immunity and the role executive rascality plays in undermining the governance and institutions of government and state institutions like the State Assembly, for instance. How well do you think, if Governor Fubara does not have immunity, protecting him? Because assemblies, people don't have immunity, by the way, but the governor has immunity. If there's no immunity protecting him, if there's no immunity protecting the governor who did that in those states, do you think they would have pursued the angle of peace? Like you were talking about what happened in the eastern, western region.
Yes.
Then do you think that the angle of peace, what Lopez has said, is pursuing, but why is he not addressing this issue, considering that his government is dependent on whatever the assembly becomes right now?
Do you know why? You see, have you asked yourself the question, when they said the House of Assembly was on fire, was the governor a fire brigade officer? Was he a police officer? Was he a DSS officer to run to that place to say, I want to see what is going on there? The reason is not far-fetched. You know why? Because the House of Assembly is key to the existence of the governor. If the House of Assembly implodes like it's doing right now, the governor had to run away, because when they fight in your house, if the governor does not come to that assembly, they would have impeached him. That was what happened during the Amechi time. So when any governor hears that the House of Assembly is imploding and there is crisis there, they will leave London and fly back in 2 hours to come and curtail that particular issue. You know why? Because they know that under Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution, 2/3 majority of the members who are very angry can remove a governor within 2 seconds in Nigeria here. The moment 2/3, because once the 2/3 is reached, the procedure and proceedings, by that particular Section 188, sub-9 says that no court will even entertain or that procedure was done in the House of Assembly, as the case may be. You saw what happened in Ondo State, that they almost, deputy governor and the rest. So, what happened in Edo State, for instance, the first instance was this. Obaseki had to run there, first of all, to deroof the place. Why he had to deroof the assembly was because if he does that, first of all, he will destabilize the house. So before they now sit to impeach him, he must have gotten 1 or 2 people that can, create problem in the house. He took the mace and took it to the house and kept it in the government house. The same thing C. Fumara is doing right now. They took the mace and took to the government house. And I heard that particular government house, there's a provision made for the faction that is supporting him to begin to sit. How will you now sit if there are 32 members in the house, as you said, and about 10 people are sitting, or 8 or 9, I heard they're about 9, and they are the ones sitting with the governor? They can even form 1/3 to sit as a quorum. They can even form 2/3 to sit as a quorum to do any legislative function, as the case may be. So same will be very pleased now, letting this problem be on this level, and he now advised that they should go to court, so that court will not pen, they will not hand the matter in court, and nothing can be done. It is to his own benefit. It is to the executive's benefit, because those factions that are loyal to him will do everything to thwart and prevent the factions that are not loyal to him. That was the reason why when Edison heard that Amehule's faction was sitting, they went there to destabilize the place, and they now went to court to file an action, because the Amehule faction has more people, as the case may be. So to destabilize the House of Assembly while the governor keep ruling, his office is intact. But if he does not do that, once they come together, or you allow that larger faction, they'll just impeach the governor just like that.
I really wanted us to end here, but yes. I can't leave this conversation without bringing this question. Apologies, everyone. I know there are more issues we need to take care of. So from impunity versus immunity and its outcome in our national development.
Yes.
Now let's talk about immunity and impunity versus judiciary, the role the judiciary plays. In all of this, we have always seen the judiciary to be the pawn in the chess game being played by those who are operating in impunity, and of course demonstrating that with the help of immunity. Now that the House of Assembly seems to be sitting in Rivers State Government House, they don't have the quorum from what we learned.
Yes.
Okay. So now recall that. Let me paint a quick picture for you here, so that those who may want to nail Governor Fubara maybe might find excuse for him. Recall that the reason why this whole thing started was a threat to impeach him.
Yes, of course. That was why I ran there.
And now suddenly the House of Assembly was burnt before they could even do that. They set the House of Assembly on fire. Now, both parties are saying reconvene, rebuild the party, the assembly, and all of that. If now the court rules and says that Mehule should stand, what are the chances that they are not going to impeach, being that they seem to have the numbers, what are the chances that they're not going to impeach Governor Fubara in the course of doing that?
If, for instance, the court now says that, the authentic, fashion is their Mehule side because of their majority strength, and because of the fact that the status quo the court was talking about was that status quo before the crisis started, and that 32 members participated in electing their Mehule, fashion, the speaker, as opposed to about 9, selecting their own, speaker on the other side. If the court so rule, what's going to happen is this: there's going to be another room for appeal. I'm very sure quickly that the here faction will quickly run to the court of appeal, to throw in a notice of appeal, because the record of appeals and settlement is done. They will quickly run there and throw in a notice of appeal, and possibly, arrest, that particular, a ruling or order that by way of a stay of execution of that particular order pending appeal. You understand the point? So these are instruments, left to them. So the matter can even get to Supreme Court. As the case, Nigerians we like litigious processes. The matter might even get to Supreme Court. But assuming why this matter is on appeal, then the two gladiators will now come back and sit on maybe not even a round table this time, maybe a rectangular, table.
Do you see that happening with the position of the former governor of Rivers State?
Well, I am praying that it does happen. This is where statesmen, should come in. Because why am I saying this now? This man is not retreating. He has said categorically that he is ready to fight to finish, as the case may be. But all of us must not be boxers and wrestlers. One must be a referee, one must be a party, maybe, a spectator, as the case may be.
So who are the stakeholders you think can come in? We have the Rivers elders who already took sides from their position.
That is where the problem started. If the Rivers elders, see, the elders we have in Rivers State might not be the popular ones you see parading themselves all over the screens or whatever.
Okay.
The elders we have are men of conscience, not political conscious people that are subordinates to some of these gladiators, as the case may be. There are elders. For instance, let me put it this succinctly the way it is. If you look at, from all I've seen, from the ecclesiastical in very many climes, you find that bishops and whatever as the case may be are respected. There are those who are apolitical. There are those who have the interest of the state at heart that they can bring around and bring to come and solve this particular problem. I do not want to call names. I know of about 4 or 5 people that I know in Rivers State. They are not in any political party. They love this state and they want to go into this kind of to settle these 2 people that are doing what now? Fighting. I believe they can come out. If they are given the opportunity.
You mean even when the presidents of Nigeria who mediated could not see this to a logical conclusion?
It's going to be very difficult. You see, why it's going to be very difficult is this. The point is, there is a one, like I look at the other one, is a dove politically, while the other one is a hawk. And they cannot operate, on the same medicine. How they able manage to operate to get this man into government is still something I'm bewildered about. Because I saw these 2 people, they are 2 diametrically opposed in terms of countenance, demeanor, etc., as the case may be. So I don't know how they were able to manage that affair. But we saw it that, soon after somebody now became something, and the other man left, no, he's not living. He is going to be present, like the omnipotent and omniscient. They say God is watching all over us from the skies. So it's like that. So maybe... Yes.
All right, he's watching all over us from FCT.
Yes.
So you all better be careful. Now, the new Nigeria People's Party announces their support for the call by Vice President Atiku Abubakar on opposition party merger to wrestle power from the All Progressives Congress. NNPP acting national chairman Abba Kawu Ali, in a statement in Abuja on Tuesday, said just recently former President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was reported to have called for a merger of opposition parties as a way of checkmating the inordinate drive of the ruling APC towards a one-party state and protecting our hard-earned democracy. The NNPP sees this call from Alhaji Atiku Abubakar as patriotic and a welcome development for which we unreservedly commend him. The NNPP, however, has modifications to that collaboration being proposed by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. It is our belief that such an arrangement should be all-encompassing and broad. To the former Vice President's call, our party notes that this was the same bold initiative that the opposition parties signed up in 2015 and which enabled the merger that led to the defeat of the then ruling People's Democratic Party. To that extent, the NNPP is reiterating its position that the former Vice President latest call is a proposal we applaud wholeheartedly. However, as we stated earlier, we will fully embrace this initiative and applaud it as a matter of necessity. The NNPP is looking at this issue from a much larger perspective and considering all factors inherent in it. Our party, without any iota of doubt, is open to collaboration, alliance, and any arrangements with any of all the political parties, including PDP, Labour Party, and APC, so long as such collaboration, alliance, or arrangement will be in the utmost interest of the Nigerian people and the protection and consolidation of Nigeria's democracy. He said, at the moment, we are studying the mood of the country and the political atmosphere, and NPP will welcome from any political party any initiative and oblige any invitation towards discussion or any arrangements aimed at protecting our people, our democracy, and towards the much desired, accelerated, and sustainable development of our country. Do you see any future in this? You know, in 2014, we learned the APC was called a bed of strange fellas. And now they have tried to put that party together to retain it for what is what, but there are still all of those what you could call lack of direction, lack of purpose, or what exactly are they supposed to be? Because in Rivers State to Lagos State and to Katsina and all of that, there seems to be a different kind of APC, and then the ideology seem to differ in terms of what they want. However, this call for a merger is it a way for Atiku to emerge again to ensure that he gets to become the president of Nigeria, or is this directed to national development in its actual sense if we're talking about playing a quality opposition?
Well, for me, this is a very selfish and callous, disposition that Nigerian politicians always make. In 2015, like they rightly pointed out, Nigeria, according to those who know more than us, said that it was drifting and that Nigeria needs a new beginning. You find out that somewhere, somehow, a group came out and proposed, similar thing they call mega party, where politicians of different hue and characters, they were not jumping into one particular boat, almost sinking the boat, as the case may be. When I saw that potpourri of whatever that was happening, I knew that this variegated, motley, crowd, it was going to take us nowhere. Because when you see people, jumping to come and so, because we are going to get full, let us follow these people. You don't even know how and why you are on that particular boat, but because of you want to capture power and get food by all means, certainly you will break up, as the case may be, because it is not bound by ideology, but bound by the innate quest to satisfy political hunger and thirst. So that was why APC came into a focus at that time. But before you knew what was going on, once power was captured in 2015, by 2017, 2018, implosion started again in APC. Those who jumped into that particular ship now left APC again. The Bukola Sarakis of this world, Dino Melayes of this world, even Atiku Abubakar of this world, and the rest of them left APC and ran away. You understand? I'm trying to go back to where they came from. And we're now regretting why they had to leave that particular place, go to that place. So, for those whose only quest is not to better the lot of Nigerian people, but for to fight for what and get what I call state capture, we are going to have this kind of situation. Like what PDP is saying, NNPP is talking about. The question I am asking these two political parties is Kwankwaso the founder of NNPP, not from PDP. This is from PDP. It's not up to 1 year he jumped out of PDP because he needed a presidential slot or ticket that he felt he couldn't get a PDP, and now joined NNPP as a political party to contest. So he was not even looking for the good or better, display for Nigerian people, but for his own private and innate personal quest to become president of Nigeria by any means possible. So when they amalgamate or come together, that amalgam is going to give us a sour fruit, in the sense that I don't see an Atiku Abubakar, for instance, if they agree to merge, I don't see an Atiku Abubakar stepping down for a Kwankwaso of this world. I don't even see a Kwankwaso of this world also stepping down for Atiku Abubakar or any other person at all. Now, to tell you that these people are just after state capture and not the betterment of Nigerian people, how come that people be like PDP, Kwankwaso like PDP, etc. Now, look at the aggregation of votes that they got. If you compute the P2B a vote inside PDP and Kwankwaso vote also inside PDP, coupled together with Atiku's vote, they would have divided APC if they are remaining in one place. So I don't know this jumping about up and down as a young kid goat. It's not too good.
Okay, I get where you're going to when people say, which you have also said, if they had remained together, these votes will have collected to defeat.
Absolutely.
Which is probably why a lot of them are talking about merger. But let's talk about the role of opposition politics in national development. Amongst the NNPP with their intra-party crisis, the PDP with their intra-party crisis, the Labour Party with their intra-party crisis. In fact, recently, the Labour Party is literally fighting the obedience movement, as a matter of fact. And if you put that out also with the Abure-led Arabambi faction of the Labour Party, all of these political parties with their own defined ideology, well, what you could call clearly defined ideology, parading as political parties with their internal structures crumbling to the ground. One would wonder, if they are talking about merging to play opposition politics, what are they really going to bring to the table if inside their house they cannot put it together?
Well, you see, for instance, I went through some of my interviews I granted for years, I think 2022 or thereabout, before Obi came into power. And I said this. I said Obi became a narrative and a movement. Now, Obi himself is more than the Labour Party. That is the way I saw it. He's a personality that was bigger and had a larger than life image than the Labour Party. So if you look at what is going on now, those who formed, who were not drifting and following Obi in the Labour Party, they knew that Obi was already on his own. Obi can enter SDP and enlarge that political party. He can enter APC and enlarge that political party. He can even enter ABGA on the national level and enlarge it because of the followership and the ideology he had. Unfortunately, he was working with people who pretended to have the same ideology with him. Otherwise, people like Arabambi and Papa would have not been in Labour Party working side by side to try the efforts of what Obi has made in trying to project Labour Party to that particular level. They felt that he was a meddlesome interloper or somebody that came to usurp, the powers that was already in Labour Party. That is why they are not working with him, because they felt that he's an opportunist who came from nowhere to come and hijack the party from them. That is why Papa and Arabambi, now have to till today they are working, at cross purposes inside Labour Party with what Obi faction or obedience, inside Labour Party are all about. Not all obedience are Labour Party people. Not all Labour Party members are obedience. These are the things people must know. Obedience is a consciousness that believes in the philosophy of Obi. The Labour Party is a political party that has its own agenda, as the case may be, has its leadership, as the case may be, but they must not necessarily be that obedience are members of Labour Party.
Okay, so with this, like I mentioned, these three key political parties, the NNPP is having intra-party crisis. Labour Party the same, PDP the same, and they are talking about merger. If they're not able to put their house in order, how can they now come together to give Nigeria position politics that is formidable enough to get these people off?
It's not possible when your house is divided. You can never have a common front. An unwilling horse that you are taking to the river to go and drink water, if it goes there, you can't force that horse to drink, that water. So when NNPP is divided, Labour Party is divided, PDP going on this way, they are working across purposes. How do you think you can play, opposition, politics? That is why you see that they are not coming together as an opposition group, but they act as individuals, national memos. You see, Obi is going on his own, say, P2B challenge the whatever of Tinubu government, etc. It ought not to be like that. It ought to be the Labour Party or a coalition of opposition has, brought out, alternative, plans or whatever to that, whatever policy the Tinubu administration has. Now in the UK and other parliamentary, democracies, what happens and obtains is that a virile opposition sit back as a political party and also work as a government in abeyance. You understand? They have people they call, Secretary of Labor, they have Secretary of Finance, they have whatever that deals on agriculture. So when the government of the day, brings a policy on agriculture and mining, you see that the opposition, shadow minister as the case may be, will respond to that particular policy of government and say, this is not the best way to go. They have ministers on finance, but it's not an official minister of government, but the opposition minister of finance who responds to issues and